Hi everyone, Coach Sullivan here from MJS Coaching Football. First of all, I hope you subscribe to my channel. Secondly, my background's my 38th year coaching football. I've either been a defensive, offensive, or special teams coordinator, as well as a head coach at both the collegiate and high school levels. Today, in this presentation, I want to establish the foundation for our match quarters coverage in our 3-4 match quarters, which we call gray 4. This gray hair is not lying to you. Okay. And when I mean set the foundation, I literally mean how everything is predicated off of number two, the number two receiver. Number two tells you what to do. Okay. So, as far as key terms in this particular presentation and throughout my match quarters presentations against various two-man route combinations, first of all, it all starts with the surface, which I'll cover here today. And this is the foundation for the entire match quarters coverage. What we mean by the dividing line, 10 means 10 yards. And so number two is either outside, inside, or vertical. And everything is based upon 10 yards, as you'll see. Outside under 10, inside under 10. Once they hit 10, it's then considered a vertical. Okay? And that determines what all four receivers in each side does. Stay tuned. Okay? So as I mentioned a second ago, read number two tells you what to do. And then we have three terms that we use for the defender who has outside leverage, okay, versus an outside route, a vertical, and inside route. Again, it's all outside, inside, or vertical. We have two terms that relate to inside leverage versus the same. Wall versus a vertical with inside leverage, and cut is versus both an inside route and an outside route when you have inside leverage on it. Okay? So now that we've established that, let me go back for a second. Okay? When number two goes outside, as you're going to learn, the cornerback's going to match that. Outside leverage versus an outside route. When number two goes inside, the inside linebacker is going to cut it. Inside leverage versus an inside route. And when number two goes vertical, depending on the safety, as we'll see, the safety's either going to carry it, outside leverage versus a vertical, or he's going to wall it, inside leverage versus a vertical, based upon alignment. Okay? So this is how we teach it from day one with our players, our linebackers, both inside and out, as well as our defensive backs, both corners and safeties. They're all taught this together. We believe in whole part whole. I'll bring the entire defense together, separate from the defensive line. So I'll have the inside, outside linebackers and all secondary personnel together in one room. Introduce the basics of our match quarters, gray 4. We then split up. Outside linebackers go with their coach, learn their portion of it. Inside linebackers go with their coach, learn their portion of it. And DBs come with me and learn their portion of it. And then we get back together again, hence whole part whole. Okay? We believe in that way of teaching. So first of all, let me explain the formation. It's what we call gun Dallas pistol. Left means the tight end's on our left. Rip means pass strengths to our right. See my 3-4 base playlist pre-snap calls. Okay, all of that's built in there. This is in the middle of the field. So as far as alignments in the secondary, corners are 1x7 Oscar, which means outside leverage. If number two is part of the box, they're 2x12 outside, which makes them a carry. If two is detached, they're 1x12 Ike, which makes them a wall defender. Okay? Hence, carry and wall versus a vertical. Okay? It's determined by your alignment. And once they learn how to line up, that's the only way we line up. That's our disguise. Then, therefore, it's the only thing they have to understand when two's vertical. Okay? So, gray 4. Right? Boom, done. What's meant by the 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. The outside, inside linebackers, the safety in the corner on one side. and the ball is the wall. Okay, the 4 on their side, they are, based upon surface, reading number 2 on their side. Separate from them on the other side of the football, it's the dividing wall. Inside, outside linebackers, corner, and safety, they are reading surface to their number 2. So the two sides operate independently of each other. Okay, this is 2-by-2 formation. Dallas doubles 1-2, 1-2. Okay, so on this side, everything's about that guy. On this side, everything's about that guy. Okay, so first of all, the surface. Okay, surface is guard, tackle, tight end. Over here, it's a 3-man surface. Over here, it's guard, tackle. Inside linebackers, outside linebackers, corners, and safeties on both sides are reading their surface for run or pass. Okay? Run or pass. So we're in quarter zone coverage. We need to be reading, is it run or pass? If we ever get beat on a play action, that's my fault as a coach. Okay, so the surface, it all starts with the surface. So as we teach, and the kids say it in their sleep, surface to 2, surface to 2, surface to 2. Don't assume they understand. They got to read surface first. You got to teach it. Surface to 2. Sing it with me now. Surface to 2, surface to 2. Okay, as I tell the safeties in particular, good Lord, man, you're 12 yards deep. You got a head start for starters, so don't be pedaling. We say sit and zit, sit and zit, sit and zit. Safeties, inside foot is up, outside foot is back. The ball snapped. That outside foot is hot. Up and down, up and down, up and down, pumping as they're reading. On this side, guard, tackle. On this side, guard, tackle, tight end. Is it run? Is it pass? Okay? And it's not ever even a question of if there's a doubt. There's no doubt. Okay? We say you're going to be sit and zit 3 steps, and you will know if it's run or pass. When it's pass, even on play action, they're high-hatting. They are not getting downfield because they don't want to get a penalty. Even in the RPO schemes, which they're getting more and more aggressive, and there's some cases they are 2-3 yards downfield. Well, that's tough. Okay, no doubt. No, that's tough. So if our guys are zitting and coming down, no problem. But they got to see number 2 still, because number 2 could be blocking them. When number 2 is running a route and is not in any way, shape, or form, you're watching college, even the big time, those receivers are stock blocking. If they're not and they're running a route, it's an RPO, baby. Okay, it's an RPO. Alabama can't disguise that. All right, so let's not make a mountain out of a molehill. It's not that complicated. They show pass, and even when it's an RPO and it looks more like run, the receivers tell you whether or not it's a run or a pass. Okay? And an RPO to the receivers, it is a pass. Okay? So that's a whole separate lecture. See my RPO coverages playlist, and there'll be whiteboard presentations on it. Okay? But in our base grade 4, we can play it versus RPOs. All right? Because we teach our kids surface, to 2, surface to 2. Even when it's a run, you still got to see 2 because he's part of the blocking scheme. And if not, is he in fact running a pattern so it's an RPO? Then these kids play the pass portion of it. Okay, to answer that question, because I'd like to move on now. So here's how this works. We go surface to 2, surface to 2. The dividing line, 10 yards. Literally, first down, right? Receiver hits 10 yards, gets near 10 yards, it's a vertical. Okay, that's what's meant by the dividing line. All right? So that once he hits 10, it's the safeties guy. Boom, done. And I don't care if the kid runs a curl, number 2, that is. I don't care if number 2 runs a deep dig, if 2 runs a post, if 2 runs 10 yards and just stops and turns around, safeties guy. Okay, that's the rule of thumb, safety's guy. So that's where I'm now going to skip down here. When 2's vertical, it's the safeties, and that's the 10 yards. Okay, I can't make that point strongly enough. Right? And for simplicity here, big guys up front in the surface, They are all show and pass. Hi-hats, right? Keep it simple for now. As we call it, predicted movement. Okay? Teach your kids hi-hat. And it's simple to drill. You do it with your DBs, you do it with your linebackers, just have one or two of them. You tell them to show pass, show run. So your kids get in the habit of reading surface to two. It's not hard to do. Again, it's a whole nother playlist on drills. Okay? So when two goes vertical, the free safety in this case, who's lined up Ike inside, knows he's walling number two. He's walling the vertical, which means he has inside leverage on the vertical. Boom, done. Okay? Over here, the whip, who's 2x12 outside, knows he's carrying it. He's got outside leverage on it. So what we say to our safeties is, first of all, maintain dominant leverage, which means be on top. So if he goes vertical, stay on top of it. That's zone leverage. Okay? And then if he breaks outside on a corner route, okay, you don't have to cut the tracks to get back on the wall inside. You then will carry it and maintain your outside leverage. Okay? Same thing here. If you go straight up the field, you're going to have inside leverage with wall. Once he breaks it off, you're going to be on top of it in what we call the carry with outside leverage. Okay? Don't make it so your kids are thinking so much they can't play fast instinctively. All right? Same thing with your whip safety. In this case, who by alignment, if the guy goes straight up the field, which they rarely do, but if he does go straight up the field, then you're going to carry it with outside leverage. Okay? Boom, done. Once he breaks it either way, in this particular case, he's likely to continue with the carry or outside leverage. Okay? Let's get to now something that we see a lot of, because when it's known that you're a quarters team, the tendency on a lot of quarters, it's not, we play match quarters, pure quarters, there's a tendency to play soft. Okay? So unless a team knows that you are a match quarters, so unless they're watching this presentation, they're not going to know that. This is what we see a lot of. Two doing the out, what we call Oklahoma. You're going to have to see that playlist. One vertical, two doing a quick out. Any out by number two is going to be matched by our corner, which means outside leverage versus the outside route. And what we're talking about is two. So when two does that, corner's coming up on it. And so it's hard for the receiver to be turning, looking back, and also understanding that when he catches it, he's going to be getting a face full of cornerback. Okay? So once they see that on tape, it puts a little doubt in the minds of the receivers. Okay? And everything is the same on both sides. All right? So that's what's meant by when two goes outside and it's under 10. Remember, everything is based upon 10, as I just said. The corner's going to match it. So that's the match quarters. You follow me? Two's vertical, safety takes him. Two's out under 10, corner takes him. Who's he coming to? The guy he's coming to is the guy who covers him with zone leverage. This is zone coverage, people. The basic premise of our match quarters. You got four verts, we got four defenders on top. You got three, we got three. You got two, we got two. You follow me? And the basic overall premise is we're going to make you throw to the shortest route in your concept. If that's 10 yards, if it's 5, if it's behind the line of scrimmage, we're going to make you throw to the shortest route in the concept that you're running. So at the end of the day, we're not giving up big plays. Okay? In 2018, we were ranked 10th in the entire country in pass defense. 2017, we were 22nd in the country in pass defense, and we were just running this. Okay, no more, no less, with a few other things built in for situations. 84% of the time, this is what we were playing. Okay? So that takes care of two vertical, two outside. Okay, so again, corners match the out, safeties carry a wall, the vertical. What about when number two goes inside? So we've covered right? Match, carry, and wall, okay? It's a little bit different here depending on if the outside linebacker is detached or if the outside linebacker is on a tight end. When the outside linebacker is on a tight end, okay, when number 2 goes inside, it's what we call deliver, because now he has outside leverage and he's literally delivering number 2 to the inside linebacker, okay? Outside leverage on an inside route. When number 2 is going outside, that's inside leverage on the outside route. So he's going to cut that. When the outside linebacker is detached, it's a cut either way. Okay, it's going to be a cut either way. Because he's inside of number 2, so in an inside route, he's cutting it. On an outside route, he's cutting it. So when they're detached, he's purely a cut defender. And what cut means, okay, is cut the window between the quarterback and the receiver. Get in between the quarterback and the receiver. Cut the cord. Cut the window. Get in between. Okay? So that's what that means as it relates to the outside linebackers. And what outside linebackers do once they go surface to 2. So in the case of a rover, he's knocking back. He's not really seeing the surface, but he's hearing pass screamed up. And the number 2 is the tight end is trying to get away from him. He now, okay, let's assume he's going outside. So that makes him a cut. He's expanding and getting his eyes to 1. That's what he does every time. Even if 2 goes in, he delivers 2, expands to 1. 2's out, knock back. Cut 2, expand to 1. Surface, eyes to 2, expand to 1. Surface, eyes to 2, expand to 1. Okay? And the reason for that is, finally, when number 2 goes inside, okay, the inside linebackers cut number 2. Okay? 2 goes out. He's coming to you, corner, you take him. He goes vertical. He's coming to you, safety, you take him. He goes inside under 10. He's coming to you, inside linebackers, you take him. Match quarters. We are matching the route and release of number 2 because number 2 tells us what to do, right? Number 2 tells us what to do. So you're probably wondering, why did they make that number 2, right? Read number 2 tells you what to do. It's number 2 because the first thing we got to do is make sure we understand the dividing line. Okay? That's the reason why I didn't make it number 2. And so here, I'll just briefly touch on our inside linebackers in their stance. Their inside toes up. Outside foot is toe to arch. Their first step is bringing their outside foot downhill. So they're downhill defenders. Boom, they read surface, pass. They literally pivot on the inside ball of their foot and get their eyes out to 2. Eyes out to 2 tells you what to do. Eyes out to 2 tells you what to do. So the last key term, as they pivot out, if 2's outside, they pivot back to running back. If 2's vertical, they pivot back to running back, okay? If 2's inside to them, we tell them, go run and undercut him. Don't wait for it because he's expanding out, and if you just sit, they're going to throw it in the window. Go cut it. If he keeps running, jam him, we say junction, jam, junction him, and run underneath, staying in that cut position all the way across the field to answer that question, okay? But for the last thing I want to talk about here, for our inside linebackers, inside linebackers, 2 to you, cut it. 2's not to you. And the hardest thing, honestly, is teaching a little patience because 2's going up the field. I tell him, watch how fast he's running. If he's blazing up the field very quickly, he'll be over 5, 6, 7 yards. Now you can pivot back to the running back because that's going to get near 10 and safety's going to take him. If he's not at full speed, then wait because he might at some point, 3, 4, 5, 6 yards, break inside to you or break out. But wait, be patient until he tells you what to do. Okay, until he declares. And his speed off the line will tell you that eventually. But what's meant by the key rush? Okay, inside linebackers, 2 to you, under 10, he's yours. 2's not to you. It's running back to quarterback, running back to quarterback. And the rule is this simple. Running back to you, whether it's in protection or on a route, he's yours. Running back away, shuffle, get in position, mirror the quarterback. But the key rush, when the running back is fitting into protection, the inside linebacker adds to the rush by, in essence, read blitzing the open gap and adding to the rush, becoming the fourth rusher. The key as to whether or not you rush, hence key rush, is the running back. He came to you, he's blocking, rush. And as you're rushing, obviously, you're coming from 4 yards. We do not get any depth. So as we're coming downhill from 4 yards, he's 6, 7 yards away from you. There's going to be time. If it's a screen, you're going to see him release. Now peel off and take him. He's yours. He came to your side. Okay? If he's legitimately there trying to block him, make a move on him and get after you, adding to the rush. Okay? So this is the foundation, the basis for our match quarters coverage that we call Gray 4. And from here, what we will be doing is I will show you how we teach defending out of Gray 4 the various two-man route pass concepts, and we break everything down to two-man routes, okay, and how we defend each one out of our Gray 4 match quarters coverage, okay? So as I said earlier, I hope you subscribe to my channel. And if you have any questions at all, I hope you reach out to me at CoachMJSullivan@gmail.com because I would love to talk football with you.